Howdy everyone. We need to revisit this whole leveling kit topic. You see that truck up ahead of us, the burgundy one right there? That's the one we did a leveling kit on. That's the one with the country, or the rough country kit, versus mine. Mine has the Thuren leveling kit. So that got shocks and spacer. This thing got springs and shocks all the way around. Well, here's the kicker, boys. A lot of you guys got misled. Let's just put it at that. I'm putting the blame on me, the way I represented it and the way you guys comprehended the information. So I'll do a two-step process. I'll talk about rough country to this kit, and then I'll go backwards one more step. Stock versus Thuren, just so you guys get the clear comparison. So rough country, I'm repeating myself, I'm being very straightforward here. It's a spacer puck and shocks. I don't know what's going on up front. Somebody slowing down somebody. So with that spacer and shock, you don't get the spring of, that 2.5 inches. There's no suspension there. So in theory, you should, just by getting a spring with the Thuren kit, you should be well off. You should be better off. What I'm talking about here, the ride quality on the front end is about the same between two. It is not the same product. You're not getting the same exact thing for a fraction of the price. I am not applying that. Here, we'll do a little side view of the truck. It's a good looking truck. So what are you really getting? You're getting low quality, rough country, versus the King shocks and the Thuren springs high quality. You got a kit that potentially will last you, I don't know, I'd expect at least a couple years out of the rough country kit. So the shocks, that's what I expect out of them. Now, you got no spring, you got nothing to compare there, but that puck definitely isn't better than a spring, I'll tell you that right now. So to make a long story short, that kit, side by side, quality, you can't compare them. I'm talking about ride, the softness of the ride and the control of the ride. For the money, you get in a great kit, but you're getting a temporary kit with the rough country versus this kit. I expect at least 10 years out of it. That's the difference. I also believe after a little bit of time, these shocks the springs and shocks should break in a little bit. So I expect a little bit more give on the front end. I'll leave it at that. That's it. That's the biggest difference. You're buying a kit for a fraction of the price, but you're buying it for a very limited time, versus a kit that's a lot more expensive, but you're buying it for a long time. I mean, there's no doubt in comparison. Like, you take those two shocks, you can't compare them. One looks really, let's just say, economically built, and the shaft itself looks pretty much weaker than the King shock. So you can't compare those. And some of you guys are under the impression that you're getting the same kit. You're not. You really aren't getting the same kit. But that's really what it is. It comes down to quality and longevity. If it was me, you need to lift a truck, or I hate these guys doing it, but I completely understand them. Those guys that just buy stock trucks, lift them up, make them look all fancy, and then they put them up for sale and make a dime off of them. I can't blame them for buying a kit under a couple $100 and making the truck ride decent and look good for short amount of time, but it looks good for the time they need to sell it. So keep that in mind. That's it, boys. As always, may the Lord bless you. May you all mighty fine day. Ciao. Bye.